Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome to the stream. If you can hear a loud noise, I have the aircon on in the office because it's warm. It's got super warm this last week and I can't live without it. So, but it is noisy. So I apologise if you've got sort of like that continual, you know, it sounds like one of those large open refrigerators in Tesco or something, just right in my office. It's great. It won't be continual. When the room gets to the target temperature, it will be quiet for a bit. So that'll be good. We're sort of in the process of rush hour, aren't we? Where all the patients, we can see them are all arriving into reception. It's quite busy. It's the part of the day where this is quite crazy, and we're just trying to sort them. And at the end of the last episode, if anyone can remember, we were doing a lot of code blues to the point where it was losing all meaning, because whenever somebody walks in looking like this chippy chappy here, we put them on a code blue. Look, David Harris, I've already done it, he's on a code blue. This chap here is on a code blue. That's, you know, because when they're on a code blue, they do normally have, right, some sort of flashing symptom that can cause them to crash, right? This sort of crossing arms thing. Yes. We should also have it, and I'm just going to double check, on specialist mode. Right? We also have it on specialist mode in case anybody is interested. What is specialist mode, you might ask? It's the hardest setting of the game. So we get no hint at diagnostics. We hide the number of hidden symptoms a patient has, and we disable pulsating hidden symptoms. So this one has been discovered, we know it with him coming in, but if we didn't know this symptom, this wouldn't be flashing, which in the easier setting it would be, so we would still know that he's going to crash outside of the crossing of the arms thing. You have to pay attention to this stuff, right? Okay. Yeah. Welcome everybody. Oh, we've got more people arriving. Fantastic. Do you have player controlled turned on all departments or just emergency? We're doing all departments. It is on all departments. I'm taking every patient. What's the best way to see this? I forget. It's been so long. But I have it for all of them. There is a way. Oh, it's in here, isn't it? It should be in here. There. Automatically take over all patients for this department. We're doing it. I mean, I always have it on emergency patients when I'm just playing the game normally. But at the moment, we have it on every single department. We are hitting every patient. I mean, not hitting. Okay. Anyway, good. So let's just try and figure out where we were from the last time. So we've actually got quite a few patients already on the roster. Patients that I'm watching. We need to get back into a flow. Remind myself more what was going on. So these are all the patients that I'm currently attending to. Nightmare. I think what we'll do is we'll just hit play and deal with them as they come in. Okay, we're going to do this. The game's quite quiet. It's one of those things, isn't it? It's one of those things. If you want me to turn the game up, let me know. Do let me know. So I saw that he's got his arms crossed, but he's already on a code blue. We've done it. We are on a code blue for him. That's absolutely fine. Right. They're just queuing through reception. Now it should ping and pause the game when a patient needs my attention. There we go. Let's pop this in the bottom corner. Let's find Joseph White. Where is he? Here is Joseph White. There he is. And a little tip, right, if you're playing Project Hospital, this is the closest that you can zoom in, right? But if you press and hold control and continue to zoom in, it just keeps on going. Okay. So, just in case you want to zoom in closer, you know. Okay. Good. So Joseph White has a liver laceration. That's pretty bad. We do have some hidden symptoms and something else that we're trying to do with this run. I'm trying to sort of... I've knocked my camera. I'm just trying to do sort of this. What we're trying to do with this run is discover all symptoms, which is kind of really stupid. Really, we should just deal with it and kick them out the door. But I'm trying to be thorough, and it will make tomorrow, the next 24 hours in game, even more of a nightmare, which to me just equals fun. So okay, good. So here's Joseph. Lovely. And none of these are pulsating. I'm assuming he came in through an ambulance. So we're going to do the emergency care. In fact, it looks like we've already done some stuff here, doesn't it? We've got him on the blood transfusion because he was hemorrhaging. We've got the pressure bandage because of the hemorrhaging. Let's do the emergency care to close up this open wound. I think we will also put the final diagnosis in as well. Something I don't always do on emergency in case they crash and I don't necessarily want them to go to the ICU. I might want them to go to their own department, but I don't think he's going to crash. I don't think he's going to. In fact, let's just take that off. I've decided I'm going to take that off. Oh, look, he has shameless as his trait. Okay, so Patricia here. Where is Patricia? There she is. She's sitting in the doctor's office. It's a shame we can't really see her, but we can't. If I just move it up, there she is. Right, Patricia could have all sorts going on. Probably infectious diseases, looking at it. Bit of a nightmare. A lot of lab work for this lady. But let's try and do as much as we can right here in the GP's office. She's in the emergency GP office as well. We do have a high fever. We will instantly give her a pill for that. We'll do that first. And then we'll do a physical examination. We're going to listen to her chest because she's got a fever. We'll also do blood pressure because, you know, we've got a headache. We should probably also check neurological and basic vision. You know, there seems to be a lot of problems here. We'll take a temperature. We know she has a high fever, but let's take her temperature. We'll see what that does, right? We'll see what that does. We have a lab procedure has been uncovered for Elizabeth Harris. Where are you? Hello, welcome. So she's actually ready to go home, apparently. She's actually ready to go home. We're going to still give her these painkillers. We want patients to be as happy as possible going out the door. We want to see their discomfort at max stars, which to me sort of suggests we want them to be as uncomfortable as possible, but actually we want them to be as comfortable as possible so that we can keep our 5 stars here, because it gives us all the insurance and bonus money, which is really important. Welcome, Kim. Welcome. BB8, welcome. Is it, I don't know how to pronounce it, is it Sajman or Saman or Simon? I don't know. I'm so sorry. I'm just a terrible person. Looks way more complicated than Theme Hostel. I would say it actually looks more complicated than it is. When you know what you're doing with this game, it becomes not too bad. If you're new to the game, we can, as we go through the patients, you'll start to see a theme. All right, you'll start to see a theme. But we've sort of got a lot of older patients kicking around here. So, and I built this hospital from scratch. We did streams. Do you remember, peeps? This hospital I built, it used to just be a field. And then starting in streams and then into series, we slowly built it up into like this grand thing. It is now available on the Steam Workshop. It is one of the best all-time downloaded hospitals, actually. That's really flattering, guys. Anyway, Joseph is in this GP office. He's being seen by Clint Stench. I have tried to take a lot of names from 2 Point to name my staff in this game after them. So what's going on, Clint? So he could have one of these 3 things up here, right? We don't know which one it is. We can see that he has vomiting, abdominal pain, and all these sorts of things. I think we will start by just doing a physical. I think doing a physical is always a good start. But the fact that he also has abdominal pain and vomiting, I think we should do abdominal palpitations, just see if there's any tenderness there. Might help us, you know, whittle it down. He's got fatigue and weight loss. Shall we look at blood pressure and to his chest? And we'll just sort of see, do you know what, we'll take his temperature as well, and we'll just sort of see what we get for Jordan, yeah? We'll just kind of see what we get for him. He is actually crossing his arms. He is on a code blue, which means he's prioritised above people in the waiting room that aren't the code blue. Barbara Moore is actually being seen by Blarla Pepper. Dash me. This is my office. Look, we're in my office. So we know exactly what. I work in the general surgery department. I quite like it here. I don't know why, but I do. And it seems, look, we've done lots of examinations here, and we've found other symptoms. We've managed to work out exactly what is wrong with this lady. We still do have hidden symptoms, though, don't we? So she could have a high fever, but we did take her temperature, and while she has a fever, she doesn't have a high one. So we know it's not that. So the ELISA test, just to confirm that this is absolutely what is wrong with her, would be worth doing. That being said, I think I am... Should we do the ELISA test? We'll probably just give her the meds. I forget now where they all are. Where is it? There it is. Let's do that. And we will also give her the meds, because I'm pretty sure that's what's wrong with her. So we'll give her the antibiotics all the same. But we're trying to be thorough, right? We're trying to be thorough, making all the departments as busy as humanly possible. Paul Hall is in emergency. He collapsed in the corridor. They've rushed him here. We've put him on a code blue, and it seems that there could be all sorts of things wrong with him, from general surgery issues to some sort of an infectious disease, and we have absolutely no freaking idea. So let's do a physical, looking at this, these current symptoms that he has. Let's do the abdominal palpitations. Yes. Let's listen to his chest. And let's take his blood pressure. These tend to always be the similar sort of things that you want to go with on here. It's always a good standard, these sort of quick tests they can do right there and then. They're always just a good combination of tests to do. So we're going to get that done. Going to get it done, yes. Oh, yeah. If I was a patient, I'd complain about the lack of seating in the waiting area. Yeah. Well, it used to be fine, and then I turned on I've unbalanced the game through mods. You're not supposed to be able to get this many patients. So yeah. And they do complain eventually. If they're standing or they're waiting too long, they do start to complain and threaten to leave to go to a different hospital. We'll deal with that problem when we get there. That may be some time though. Oh look, we're back with Joseph White. So, okay, we can see potential undiscovered symptoms for liver laceration can be this hypervolactic shock thing, right? And we can discover this by doing a physical examination. Now, we did the physical examination, we did not discover this symptom, so we know that he doesn't have it. Abdominal guarding, we've not done abdominal palpitations, so what we're going to do is we are going to do those now, just to see if he is, because we've got hidden symptoms here. So if we can uncover that and find that he is guarding his stomach, then it's like the NHS at the moment. Yeah, basically I've overloaded the hospital and I'm going to try and cope. And like I say, I think the first 24 hours shouldn't be too bad. I think it's going to be the next one. So there we are. We've discovered abdominal guarding. So now he has no hidden symptoms, which is perfect. So we're going to diagnose him finally with liver laceration. We are going to send him to general surgery, because that's a department where they do these types of surgeries. And then we are also going to ask him to get abdominal surgery. Hopefully later on in the day of the game we'll be able to go up to the operating theatres and have a good old butchers at all the operations that are taking place, because I'm pretty sure there will be a lot of them. Okay. Got a bit of a graphical glitch here. It always bothers me, this graphical glitch. Something that they've never bothered fixing. Never mind, eh? Oh, oxymoron. This one never got fixed. So, this is Lisa Lewis, and she has a shoulder sprain. She's on the right department. She's on orthopedy. So, it's just a matter of getting her everything that she needs. This MRI was all we needed to do. So we're going to get her an ice wrap, we're going to give her some meds, EMS, recommendations, her painkillers, and it should start dealing with all of these symptoms and hopefully get us that star back, so we can see that what is reducing her comfort level at the moment is the shoulder injury itself, fair enough, and the spasms. And of course we're going to give her some medicine for the spasms, and then we're going to give her some painkillers for the sprain. So we should see the 5 stars on her later on today, before we send her home, if we remember who the frick she is. Robert Foster, where are you? Which one is that in there? I think this is Robert Foster here, being seen by Tarquin Fool. Comforting start for his visit to the hospital. What's wrong? It could be anything. Look, we've got a real mix of... Wow, this is a really long list of potential issues. We need to narrow this down. It could be anything. He's a bit tired. That's what we've learned. Okay, so we'll do the round of tests, right? Physical, listen to his chest. Let's do blood pressure. And we'll see how we get on with that. Oh, it's raining. It's raining outside. Probably can't hear it though. The game will spend most of its time paused because of the nature of what I'm doing in this game. Every patient. We're going to spend most of it paused. Hello, Casey. Are you okay? You're not okay. But I think you're over the worst of it because we've got rehydration going on here. Let's see, although he could have, look, a bacteria problem and things. He might collapse. He might collapse and die. So shall we try and avoid that? Shall we try to avoid that, everybody? So what have we done here? We have done the abdominal palpitations. We didn't find any bloating. We have taken his temperature. We haven't found any fever. We did do an interview. There hasn't been any vomiting. We haven't found any fatigue from the interview. What is this? Tenderness. We did a physical examination. It discovered nothing. We know this because this is black, which means that we did that examination but it didn't discover any new symptoms. If it's green, it means we did that examination and we did discover new symptoms for it. So no tenderness. Now he could have elevated CRP. Now I would say if you're playing the game normally, there is never any real need to do this test or to give these pain meds. But I'm in crazy mode, so we're going to do this. It's fairly pointless. The actual issue, which we will test for in a moment, and he could also have a bacteria problem, which is, and you see that big high? This is the thing that's most likely going to kill him, if he has it. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this microbial cultivation. Took me a long time to get that word right. Do you remember? We're going to do that. And we're also going to do this testing, this fluid analysis testing, because again, I'm trying to be really thorough. I know that this is what's wrong with him, but I'm still going to do it because we want to do all the things. And it will uncover these few last hidden symptoms. We do not want a patient leaving with hidden symptoms. It will happen because if they're unconscious, it means we can't interview them, which means certain interview symptoms won't be found. But otherwise, we're going to try our absolute utmost. So let's see. He can't have that test on this department. Fine. But we can do the microbial sampling. So let's do that, and then we're going to have to, and the CRP, and then we're going to actually have to send him to a different department to get him the test we want him to have. Poor chap. And it's quite a painful test as well, I think. I could be wrong about that. Medium discomfort. We're going to stick him with a great big needle. You know, Tressel, welcome. Oh yeah, how are you doing, Tressel? Welcome. Carol, let's have a look. Wow, look at how busy it is here. This is this department was sort of attached on with the release of a DLC, traumatology, that came out, and if I was designing the hospital again now, this definitely would have a larger waiting room because it gets nuts in here. Luckily, a lot of the examinations for traumatology, if we put the walls up, see, this is emergency, this office here, I've put this over here to show us it's emergency, and I've only got one for traumatology, which is this one here. One office and a couple of chairs is not enough. Traumatology is nuts. Luckily, the examinations and the treatment is quite quick the majority of the time, and you can just send them out. So but where's even the doctor, right? All these people waiting, where is even the doctor right now? Taking probably a well-earned break. It's 10:30 in the morning, it's rush hour, oh my god. Anyway, Carol, how are you? Her arms are crossed, not good, she might collapse and die. She has high fever, so the first thing we're going to do is just straight up give her something for those so that she doesn't collapse and stuff. I don't want her to collapse. That would be terrible. She'd end up in the ER, and that's busy enough as it is. This is the ER. This is my ER here, right? And at the moment, I think it's full, right? Every one of these seems to be full. There isn't anybody in this one, but there is a doctor here suggesting that perhaps somebody's on their way coming back from a scan or something. So we really need to get some people out of here. We really do. And Paul Hall, I need to zoom in. Paul Hall, I really want to get you out of here. What is up? We're still working on this. We've narrowed this down, have we not? What did I do with him? It doesn't matter. We'll still try and narrow this down. It feels like it's the same as before, doesn't it? We've done all these tests. It is the same as before. We've done all these tests, found Jack. Okay. Well, so what have we got here? We could do an ECG. A quicker way of doing an ECG right here in the ER, actually, is going to be heart monitoring. We can do that here without sending him away. The ECG we'd have to send him to a different department, and I just kind of want to get him off the ER, so let's just do a heart monitoring for him. What other quick tests can we do that might help us narrow down what's wrong with him? If we could just get a department, that would help. So we're seeing a lot of CRP. Can we do CRP here? I think we can. Can we? Do you know, I've forgotten. It's been a while. Can we do... I think we can do that here. It should say, actually, required room, any office, diagnosis unit, observation room, trauma centre. That's where we are, the trauma centre. Fine, good, lovely. What else could we do? We listened to his chest. We got nothing from it, so we know there's no point in that. Did we do abdominal palpitation? We did. Okay. What else could we do? Anybody got any ideas? No. Okay, we're probably going to have to get into... We might have to get into actual lab work. Well, it's difficult to know how busy the labs are. I'll take you to the labs in a minute. But they never added like a queuing system, so you don't really know how many people are waiting on lab work most of the time. Nothing else here I think is quick that could be done just right on the spot. Yeah, I agree, Chrissy, right? Labs next, I think, which is slow work. Let's see if we could do scans first. Scans are quicker than lab work, and the labs are going to be quite busy. And we've got some general surgery here. We've only got 2 departments we need to worry about. And trying to diagnose infectious diseases is much more slow and time consuming than general surgery. So maybe, the thing is, I don't know if he could crash at any moment. It is a risk. But maybe we could see about, mind you, that one's labs, isn't it? What's this one? We could do a CT for this one. So let's arrange, we'll do these 2 tests, but then we'll probably do a CT, right? That's stool analysis is labs again. And then we've also got the microbial. I think we might try and whittle out general surgery for this chippy chappy. Let's do those 2, because they're quick and simple. We can just do them right here. Susan, she's also in the ER. What is up? So we have like this internal medicine one. We're in the process of doing the blood test. She's on life support. She's had an MRI and a CT. Okay, that's good that they've come back. Because we've got... Do you remember, some of these can kill them in a couple of hours, but I think she's out of the woods in that respect. Okay. We're doing the blood test for the potential poisoning. We've done the emergency CTs and MRIs in case she was about to die, and we didn't have time to diagnose the exact issue with her and just had to send her straight to surgery. I don't think we're at that sort of level. She doesn't have a cerebral contusion. She doesn't have that. We did the CT, it's negative. This one, we did the MRI, it's negative. This one, we did the CT. She does. It's this one. She has this poisoning. We can do it. And we're doing the blood test to diagnose it. We'll get her the treatment now. She'll be fine. She'll be fine. Let's get her the treatment now. Get that done. Okay, good. We probably did that in one of the earlier episodes, but because it's been so long, I've just forgotten where we are with her. Whereas this person, we have the traumatic brain injury, the one that can kill so fast. And this hospital is set up for these types of patients. Let's see if we can do this. I'm going to put her on a code blue. We need to get her into a CT pronto. I think. Do we? Let's see. That's not an emergency. That we can do now. We don't need to send her for a CT. We can send her straight to surgery, which I think we should probably do, and then worry about her tests afterwards. And I'm going to send her possibly straight to the ICU. I'm just going to go and have a look at the ICU, everybody. How busy is the ICU? I feel like we've got room. The ICU is looking okay. We've got 1, 2, 3 in the ICU. Should we actually open up the ICU? Can't see that. It's behind my thing. It's behind my thing. It's the wrong place. God, it's been so long. Not this one. Which one is it? Departments here. Yeah, you can see that. Look, 3 out of 10. See this here? This says 3 out of 10 patients. We also have overflow for the ICU here, which is currently closed, I believe. But this is the overflow ICU. Should the mess really hit the fan, which I think in the next 24 hours we might be using that department. Okay, these are the labs, and you've got no way of knowing how busy the labs are, although what I would say is there's not many patients out here. It's very early in the day. That will fill up. The labs will be the next one to get really full. Back down here, eh? Yeah, so I think I'm going to send her straight to the ICU. The doctors there are much better at stabilising patients who are liable to crash and die, which Carol could be. So we're going to skip neurology altogether. We're going to send her straight to the ICU, and we're going to get her this operation. All right. I don't think she's as high risk as some of them, but we've got the space in the ICU, so whatever, how about an eye patch? Some of them do come in with eye patches on, yeah. And I think their occupation is pirate and that they steal computer games. That's I think it does. I don't think your brain can handle this much detail. Honestly, it's it does feel like a lot when you start playing it, and it took me a long time to learn how to play it. But when it's sort of the wrong way to design a game. They've made the learning curve really steep on this game, but the game itself is really simple. They've made it look complicated, but honestly, when you start, you'll start to see it, and it's. You have also, though, joined when I'm doing one of the most difficult things in this game you could possibly do. I'm on like super hard super mode. Right, Barbara Wright has poison ivy. Let's see, we have an undiagnosed symptom here. we've done the physical examination, so she doesn't have a rash. So it is just an evaluation that we need to do. The evaluation is here. On normal settings, for example, you wouldn't have all the available examinations listed here. You wouldn't have, there'd be a lot less information. I turn everything, it tells you how many symptoms there are, and there wouldn't be this many patients, and the game would run itself. I've turned it on so that I'm dealing with every patient coming into the hospital. Imagine doing that with Theme Hospital if you are the doctor attending to every patient coming in. That's what I've done. You don't normally do that. Okay, here we go. Right in the deep end. It is the worst place to come into this game, Scotty. It really is. It really is, yeah. And like I say, this hospital used to just be a field, you know, and we started with just like a small surgery where people come and say, oh, I banged my knee. And we were handing out a lot of cream, you know. Oh right, we're still here. We did the evaluation. We now have no hidden symptoms. She has poisoned ivy rash, so we just need to give her a steroid cream. But while we're at it, she also has a fever, so we're going to give her meds for that. And we might as well just do these other things. Don't we get money for these? I don't actually think we get money for the ice wrap, but we do for the antihistamines. She will go to we have a couple of pharmacies, yeah, right. And when they go and buy the drugs, we get money. So she could survive without the antihistamines, and she'd still go away as a 5-star patient. But every little helps, right? Because this hospital clearly needs it at 3.5 million, right? Okay, Carol. Where's Carol? So she's still sitting here in this office with her arms crossed. Where are we? We've managed to get it down to this. Oh, that's an improvement, isn't it? There was all sorts of things that could have been wrong with her. She's managed to help her. She's got an itchy eye. Ugh. Okay. So we've got some hidden symptoms, but now we know specifically more what we're looking at. Let's see, she could have a sore throat. So let's do an oral cavity search, shall we? Or also physical. Always do a physical. It's you normally find something from it. It's rare that you don't. Where's the oral cavity? Open and say ah. Where? Nasal, oral. There we go. The physical examination for the malaise. Watery eyes. Physical examination. Does she have a fever? Let's take her temperature. And whatever that is. Mastodinovirus. Mastodinovirus B detected. I don't know. Let's not do that just yet. That's lab works, and I'm concerned about how busy the labs are going to be. These ones, we can do all these examinations right here in the GP office, so let's just do those, and who knows, it might uncover all the hidden symptoms. She needs an eye patch. That's exactly what she needs. She might get one. We'll keep an eye on that. Casey, we're dealing with a lot of code blues here. We're trying to prevent our code blues from collapsing at the moment, so because we don't want everybody being rushed to the ER and then being rushed into ICU, you know. So I'm trying to find the real high risk cases, and I've marked them all code blue. Because look, he has a high fever. I think we saw this gentleman walking in at the beginning of the stream, and now we can actually give him something to stop this high fever. This flashing symptom could cause him to crash. We don't want that, so we're going to give him that right now, and then we'll look at him. I just want him to not crash. Good. Not that they can actually crash when they're inside the GP office, but as soon as he walked out, he might do. But not anymore. Not with those meds. Let's see. Best way to learn, though. Sometimes, yeah, you'll start to see repetitive themes. Believe me. From what I'm doing here. Okay, so we've got Karen Baker. Hello, Karen. So Karen's actually had quite a few examinations here in the GP's office, most of which discovered nothing. Good. So she could have an internal medicine issue. Maybe we could try and whittle this down. Look, we've got one infectious disease potential. couple for the emergency department. She's actually on cardiology. Now, this game can sometimes give stuff away, right? So, looking at all this, but the game has sent her to cardiology. So chances are is it's this one. GG. So what we're going to do is send her for an MRI. Straight off the bat. Sometimes the game just sort of tells you. We don't actually need to whittle this down. She's on cardiology. I was like, I thought she was on emergency, but she's not. Look, it's all pink. Okay, good, right. Lisa Jackson has just had a scan. Look. And we've discovered she has this fistula of the intestine. Youth. There's no more examinations to be had. We've discovered all symptoms. She needs surgery. She's already on the general surgery department, so we're just going to schedule surgery. I'm just going to schedule that. Well done, Lisa. She's going to be fine, by the way. She's going to be absolutely fine. Barbara Scott. Ooh, we're actually seeing somebody on a ward. How rare. So she's in the process of having a biopsy. This is what the flashing orange is. We've taken the test. It's currently with the labs. And we're waiting for the results. That's what the orange flashing is. With active treatments, these are active, as in she's currently receiving oxygen, the IV, and she's currently on the high dependency unit in internal medicine. This is my ward for internal medicine. There it is. There it is. Oh yeah. I've made it green for internal medicine because oxymoron kind of made it green, right? I've made it green. And it's on the ground floor because internal medicine has a bunch of extra rooms that the other departments don't. So when we go up, you can see these are wards for orthopedy. And this is the cardiology. And they don't take up quite as much as my internal medicine because the other departments have surgery, whereas they have these rooms here, which I'm sure we will see at some point. So she's in the ward. Why are we here? Procedures have finished. So they're just saying we've taken her biopsy sample. Okay, great. What do I care? Good. Tell me when we've got the results. She doesn't have a fever. It should, when the results come back from this biopsy test, reveal that this is absolutely the diagnosis. But we're already treating her for it. We're just being thorough. Right, we're just being thorough. What we could do, because she's got, look, a lot of stuff upsetting her. Let's just pull this away from the edge of the screen a bit so we can look at all this chest pain, breathing problems. We've also caused a lot of discomfort from the biopsy sampling and that sort of stuff. There are stuff that you can hire that don't cause discomfort. I recommend them. They're difficult to find though. So we're going to give her all these available treatments, just everything. It'll ramp up her bill, but also should make her much more comfortable. Whereas at the moment, she's not a happy bunny. She's not a happy bunny. You see pumpkins? Do you? Pumpkins? Oh yeah, there are. Yeah, they had a Halloween thing. They did, and they added pumpkin. Yeah, and I've used them to decorate as like a. Ooh, got a bit close. Use them to decorate. I like to have plants and stuff on my wards, right? And yeah, we we got a pumpkin plant because that's how pumpkins grow. It's absolutely how they grow, don't you know? Okay, Jordan. Hello, Jordan. So we suspect it's probably this, do we? Okay. Let's see. We've discovered quite a lot of symptoms. Let's see. Did we do an oral cavity inspection for bad breath? We haven't. Let's do that. Let's do that, shall we? Shall we? Oral. There it is. Lovely. Loss of appetite. We did do an interview. He hasn't had a loss of appetite, despite the vomiting, apparently. Excessive belching. We did do a physical examination. No excessive belching. Okay. Anemia. We've not done a blood test. So we could do. What's this? Oh, the actual issue. We'll get to that. And hyperacidity. We did a physical, we didn't find it. Okay, so we will also arrange the serologic testing. We have to do labs for this man if we want to be thorough. So we're going to do the serologic sampling here. And we'll also, in for a penny, in for a pound, going to do the blood test to see about this. So blood draw, we'll do a blood draw, right? Do all those things. We can get all that done right here in the office. And then we need him to go to general surgery and sort of bugger off. Yes. Good. Robert Foster, here you are, in cardiology, giant cell arteritis, whatever. Okay. Tarquin Fool. Oh, we're with Tarquin again, everybody. We're with Tarquin, everybody. I make them... My offices are quite interesting because they're actually a mix of 2 different rooms. But the game, you have so much freedom with building that the examination room is, I've put right in their office. But I've also made it so they have to put on mask and gloves whenever they're in this half of their office, this sort of examination half. It's difficult to see, but you can see I've sort of made a little separate section. But if we were to look at the build, oh no, it does still register as one office. Okay, whatever. But I've segregated them out. Can you see? I've made like a little examination area, and then we've made like a nice office, just like it is at the doctor's, the GP office. Well, in the UK at least. I don't know about other places, but yeah, you know, go behind a screen, have a little examination, and they put on their mask and their gloves. Right, good. Are we all clear? So let's see, what else could we do here? We've whittled this down. We need to check his temperature. What is this? Loss of vision? I don't think I can do this examination on cardiology. No. So we'll have to leave that one. The CRP we can do right here. And the angiograph we probably should do. But let's do these small examinations just right here in the office first before we send him off to X-ray. X-ray being upstairs. It's just above. Here's X-ray. It's quite big. This is generally reserved for real emergency patients and stuff like that. ER type trauma. This side is your walk-ins and your wards, you know. Yeah. So I tried to keep these ones a bit quieter, a bit less busy, and I've got my little office between. So we've got one office. Oh, it jumped. We've got one office to do 2 different X-ray rooms. Right, saves on space. Just saves on space, right? Just saves on space. Oh look, the canteen, everybody. Good. Right. Pool hall. Right. This man I'm still trying to get off my trauma centre. My ER. What is happening? We found nothing. Everything is black here. We found nothing. Man. Right, okay. So I think he's going to be here for a while. We need to do the microbial. I wonder if I could get him over here while we wait for the tests. Maybe. I don't know. How do you do that? I don't actually know. Man. We've probably got time. Let's get the microbial done. Let's see if we can whittle out the general surgery stuff, right? So, let's see. Do this, will you? Not that one. That's for fungus. This one. Do that one for this. Right? We did the abdominal palpitations, so actually he can't have this. For Crohn's disease, we'll send him for a CT. This is where they sort of look up the thing. And this is, we'll do a stool analysis. Let's do a stool analysis. It's not nice for this man, is it? Let's do stool collecting. And what else? This is also the microbial. And also this big needle testing one. Can I do that on this department? No, that's the one we can't do on this department. Let's do those other bits then. And then we're going to have to send him to general surgery to do this one test that we can't do here. It's department specific. Yeah. Which is a bit annoying, because if he is in any way infectious, I'm going to make a lot of people sick, which I'd like to try and avoid. Maybe we should play it safe and stick him on infectious diseases, just in case. Maybe we should do it that way. I wonder if infectious diseases, if that department can do that fluid test. We'll find out, I suppose, won't we? Casey's here in this office, where it's crazy busy. Look, it seems this is infectious diseases GP office, and we've also got internal medicine across the way here. It's another very busy department. What with 241 patients. Why have I done this to myself? Is anybody else coming in looking proper sick and needing a code blue? Doesn't look like it, actually. We've got people leaving. This gentleman's coming in, but he's not a code blue. So, oh my god, look at it in here. Look at it in here. But I think all these people are not going to die. So, they can wait behind those that truly could. They all look sort of quite fine. So I think, being that it's now almost 11 o'clock in game, we're over the rush hour of people coming into reception. They're here. For the majority, they have arrived. They trickle in all day, but the really busy bit is when we open, right? The day shift, right? It's the really busy one. I keep pressing Alt instead of Control. It's just the pits. So he is actually on the infectious diseases GP place thingy mabobby. Now, is there anything that we can do examination wise that could help us whittle this down right here in the office? I don't think there is. I think now it is all just the ELISA testing for those two, serologic for that one, ELISA testing for that one. So really doing an ELISA test is going to be the most effective test here, and you don't want to do too many probing tests because you can cause a lot of discomfort. This one test will test for 3 out of the 4, so if it comes back negative, we know it's the valley fever, right? So we will get the ELISA sampling here, and then we're going to send him to the ward because he's really bad. He could die. He won't. But the potential's there. If you're really rubbish, really rubbish doctor, he could die. Okay, anyway. It would take a very long time, though. Extraordinarily long time. Susan Wright. Oh, yes, we're waiting for the blood test for her. Okay, fine. We've done the blood test. Let's send her to internal medicine. Do you remember? We looked at her earlier. We're going to send her straight to internal medicine. She is on life support, but she should be okay. She's had the ethanol treatment, so she should be stable now. We just need to get her to a ward to recover, and we're only doing the blood test just to absolutely make sure that it is methanol poisoning, which we know that it is, so it's fine. We're just being thorough. Mary. Hello, Mary. Welcome to trauma. She could have traumatology issues. She could have been shot or stabbed. She could have broken something. She could have an infectious disease. She could have all sorts wrong with her. There could be something wrong with her heart. Okay. This could be something wrong with her guts. We just don't know. At the moment, she's exhausted and she was dehydrated. We've rehydrated her. We've given her an IV infusion for her exhaustion. So this is great. Now it's time, now that she's sort of a bit more stable, she's come into emergency through an ambulance, I believe. I mean, she may have come in through the front door and I've sent her straight here because I saw that she was looking a bit peaky. Now it's time for us to do some tests. So we're going to do the bog standard sort of collection of quick physical tests. Physical, abdominal, listen to her chest, and take her blood pressure, right? See what we get from those. See if we can whittle this down. An ambulance is coming. Where are they going to go? They are probably going to be stuck on the road for a bit until who is it that we sent away? We were sending somebody away. Here comes a nurse now, hopefully, to take somebody away, because we really need to get Barbara Williams in, who's just arrived by ambulance. A patient of ours is collapsing. He has septic shock. Okay, Christopher Miller is now going to go to the ICU. I would like to send him back down to trauma. To do that, if we had the space in trauma, you're not sure how to do that, because generally a lot of people have ICUs that are full, whereas I tend to keep my trauma really full, because you can upgrade patients through care, but you can't downgrade them again. So as soon as he goes to the ICU, I can never ask him to come back to general surgery. I can never ask him to go back to trauma. However, I have a window here where if I do nothing, they will send him to the ICU, and he's at the max place that he could be. Normally I'd want to send him to trauma, so that there's always that potential to go back up. And to do that, I would remove this final diagnosis, because they can only go to the ICU if they have a final diagnosis. If they don't have a final diagnosis, they will go to trauma, right? That's the difference. So even though we know what it is, I would just remove that diagnosis so that they would automatically send him to trauma. But I have no freaking room in trauma. Trauma is overloaded. So he's going to have to go to the ICU for his septic shock. To deal with the septic shock, as soon as he gets to the ICU, we're going to ask them to give him an IV antibiotic. Now the question is, why does he have septic shock? The first thing that enters my mind is, has he recently had surgery? The answer here being yes, he has had abdominal surgery. We can see it's blue, so he's had it. And septic shock suggests there's a complication from the surgery. So we're going to stabilise him with the IV antibiotics, but if we don't do more and find out what went wrong with the surgery, we could find ourselves having more complications. He could keep crashing and he could die. So we're going to put him on a code blue. I need to know everything that is happening with Christopher Miller from this point on, right? So I know something's gone wrong with surgery. We've got some clowns up there. Up there, because surgery is on the top floor. Do you want to see surgery? Surgery is I put it in a place where no patients go unless they're being wheeled in. So this is surgery. Top floor of the building. You see, there's the roof. Wasn't lying. So I have 8 surgery rooms. The surgery room is, even though you assign them to specific departments, all departments will use any surgery room. Really, the only reason you would assign them to particular departments is just to make sure that the janitor for that department is cleaning. You know, it just helps the janitors out if you're evening out their work. But otherwise, they'll use any of these. Any department will use any of these operating theatres that I've built, of which I have 8. And then this is all the staff that work in the operating theatres. So I have just like a battery farm of doctors. And they are a combination of surgeons, anesthesiologists and this sort of stuff, right? And then there's a big canteen, and then over here we have all the nurses that support in surgery and stuff like that as well, right? So you need quite large teams for every single surgery that you have. I think it's like 5 people, and they all need to be qualified in different areas and stuff like that. Again, though, once you know what you're doing, it's very humdrum and normal. And this is actually many different departments. So we have 2 surgery teams for each department. It's just we've got a lot of departments, so there's a lot of doctors. Can you see this one's playing solitaire? So, nice and busy while they're giving this man septic. So, GG everybody. I'm not impressed. That's I do have some bad surgeons, which is actually a deliberate move, because I was making a series where I was trying to it was the deep dive series, where you could I would talk about all the things that could come into a particular department, and out of all those things, which were the most dangerous and at risk for the patient to die, and how to best quickly deal with that patient and signs to look out for and complications that can happen with surgery and stuff like that. So I've deliberately kept some bad surgeons and things so that I would deliberately get things like septic shock for that series. So that's also making this a little bit of a challenge. I deliberately have some bad doctors, so sorry about that. Hospital is nicely multicoloured. Thank you, Scotty. I have used the colours for specific departments. The colours let me know exactly where I am within the hospital. Blue, for example, is neurology. No, it's not. It's general surgery. Neurology is purple. Yes, it is. So if now we would go to Barbara, we go to green because it's internal medicine. See, now the department's green. And red, the accent of red means she is on high dependency, and the accent of blue means she's just on sort of the normal ward. So I've actually colour coded it because I was insane. You don't have to do that. I just did because I like things to visually make sense quickly. Anyway, so she has received all of her meds that we've asked her to receive. That's fantastic. She's fine now. Barbara just needs to recover and then we'll send her home tomorrow morning, but we're still doing the biopsy test. We're still waiting for the results of the biopsy test, even though we know that it is this. Nothing's going to surprise us. We're just going to say, okay, that's fine. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you to all my Patreons for their continued support.